All right, we are live immediately after the Commanders defeated the Lions 45-31. For anyone watching this stream after, I understand that it's hard to follow through the initial recap and initial reactions after the stream, and that I respond to a lot of comments while we are doing the stream. So I'm going to try and quickly go through the Chiefs game and then the Lions game, and obviously whenever you see the logos on the screen, that's obviously whenever we're going to be discussing the games. So lot to discuss. We are, of course, we're going to start with the Chiefs-Texans game. There's a lot to discuss in this game. I know some people will want this to be brought up because there was a lot of chirping. We'll just address it right away. There was a lot of chirping about the refs in this game. A lot of chirping about the refs in this game, especially from Texans fans, and I get it. Will Anderson even said after the game that we knew we were going to be going to Arrowhead. We knew we were going to be playing two separate teams. But the big thing for me with this game was the Chiefs are the absolute epitome of, if you mess up once, if you have a 10-play drive and you have a false start, and instead of it being 3rd and 2 and now it's 3rd and 7, Steve Spagnuolo makes it happen, they get off the field. The Chiefs are the epitome of a team that never fails to not capitalize when it matters most. And Ka'imi Fairbairn obviously had a really good season. Didn't have his best game in this one. And it wouldn't be fair to blame this game strictly on Ka'imi Fairbairn, but it was missed opportunities, I feel like, was the name of the game for the Texans. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that we'll go back to the Chiefs game in a minute. That was the name of the game for me, was missed opportunities for the Texans, and the Chiefs capitalized. And Travis Kelce obviously didn't have the best season, at least for his standards. He only had 3 touchdowns in the entire season. Had over 110 yards and a touchdown in this game. The Chiefs are at the level of the Patriots, where it does, the regular season's a warm up. We're going to win most of the games. They won 15 games this year, and we're going to take care of things when it matters. Now, we will be addressing, we will get back to this game in a minute, I promise. But the Lions game just ended. The chat is absolutely popping off right now. Everybody wants to discuss the Lions game, Commanders game. Let's go ahead and discuss it here. So let's go ahead and address a couple super chats real quick. Eagles can host an NFC Championship game. We used to pray for times like this. They absolutely can. Win tomorrow and it happens, and it's an NFC East Championship game. Lions lose, yes, from Daniel Summers. I would imagine that's Daniel's a fan of an NFC North team. Can't expect much when your QB gets sacked 8 times. You are 100% right. Sleepy, appreciated as always. A lot of comments saying the Lions completely choked. It's a brutal loss. It's a brutal loss. My ex-wife, I appreciate the first super chat. Is Jaden Daniels going to be Patrick's Eli Manning? That is an interesting thought. We will discuss here. I want to pull up all of the stats and everything so we can really just discuss everything. I want to go ahead and have the background here. So I'll figure that out in a second in terms of being able to look at all the stats and everything. But guys, the biggest thing is the Commanders put up 45 points on the road, the most in team history tonight. Jaden Daniels, first rookie quarterback since Mark Sanchez all the way back in 2009 to lead his team to a conference championship game. Whatever you hear about Jaden Daniels over the course of the next week, it is completely warranted. Jaden Daniels is, this season was not underappreciated. It was just insane how they got here. I don't know why I said underappreciated, but underwhelming, whatever. It is insane how the Commanders got here. And shout out Daniel. He said, leave a like, folks. Appreciate that. Definitely leave a like if you are enjoying. But Jared, get Goff my lawn. That's funny. That's a good play on that. I do want to pull up specific stats here with this game with the Commanders and Lions. But this was an insane game, and I do think one thing that has to be brought up within the Commanders Lions game that was brought up on the broadcast. I don't know if Tom brought it up or I don't know who brought it up, but the point is when Jared Goff was absolutely leveled on the pick six, how much was Jared Goff impacted the rest of the game? Because in a do or die game, in a now or never game, what Jared Goff did this season doesn't matter. It does not matter what Jared Goff did the previous 17 games. It doesn't matter that they went 18, that they're not 18, that they went 15-2. It doesn't matter. How much was Jared Goff impacted by that play? That is one thing that I will always wonder about this game. But The Commanders go into Detroit, win 45-31. Jaden Daniels' final stat line, 22 of 31, 299 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. That's just his passing numbers. The rushing numbers, Jaden had another 51 yards. Brian Robinson had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had 77 yards. Terry McLaurin had the really big play. Terry had the big 58-yard touchdown, and he finished with 87 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, for Commanders fans that have went through this over the past 20 years, this is, I mean, the Commanders hadn't won a playoff game since 2005 prior to Sunday. And what I think is more particularly impressive for the Commanders and their fan base for something to really just latch onto moving forward is they were coming off of a short week already. They played Sunday night. Sunday night to Saturday night is a tough swing, especially when you're playing 2 good teams in the Bucs and Lions. This wasn't a, we're gonna beat the 7-10 or the 8-9 Falcons with another rookie quarterback, even though they technically did in the regular season. This was the 15-2 Lions, the team that looked destined to go to the Super Bowl all year. I tweeted before the season started that Chiefs-Lions was my Super Bowl pick. I stood on it all year long, never really had a reason to doubt it. And the Commanders went into Detroit tonight and put up 45 points. Now, I'll be honest, I have a lot of questions about the Lions right now. Not that they're done, not that it's over, none of that. But I have a couple of questions in the sense of, okay, is Ben Johnson gone? That's obviously a question that we don't know the answer to at this point. Is Aaron Glenn, what's the deal there? Is he going to stay? What is everything regarding their coaching staff? I'm not going to even, I don't really want to talk about Aiden Hutchinson. I know people will probably wonder about that. I'm not going to talk about Aiden Hutchinson. I hope that the recovery goes well. It'll be nearly 11 months by the time he comes back next year. But I will say, in the sense of, all of the guys from back in 2021 and 2022, when you drafted them, this was a 4-year buildup. And tonight you're the number 1 seed. This was like we said, a multiple year process and build up to where we are now. And you lose by 14 points to a rookie quarterback on your home turf after having the best season by far in franchise history. That's a tough one to overcome. There's whether you are a Lions fan, Lions hater, whatever the case may be, just simply analyzing the game, that's a tough one to overcome. Because now we're at the point of the business of the NFL. Now we're at a point where we have Penei Sewell's contract, getting ready to kick in. Obviously, him and Amon-Ra St. Brown both signed the contracts this offseason, but now we're going to have both of those guys' contracts really start to get going. Jared Goff obviously signed a $200 million plus contract. Now we're going to have Jameson Williams just had a 1,000-yard season. He's going to probably get paid at some point soon. Aiden Hutchinson will probably soon get paid north of $150 million, maybe even close to $200 million, given what Nick Bosa signed a couple of offseasons ago. This is a tough, not tough situation, because they still have really, really good players. But I really thought that 2024, especially with the offense playing the way that it was, Jahmyr Gibbs, I want to use the word that people hate in the draft process. I'll say it. Jahmyr Gibbs, generational type season from him this year with the way that he impacted every asset of the offense. Now, I know Derrick Henry and Saquon obviously had great years too, but Jahmyr Gibbs, when he touches the football, you really think that he can go to the house any play. The Lions are in a tough situation, not tough situation, but it's going to be, they're going to have to answer in 2025. That is the reality. They have to, that's all I can say right now is they have to answer next January when it matters. The 15-2 next year does not matter. What happens when you go to January? And last year they had a couple of opportunities on the road in San Francisco, and Dan Campbell even said before that game that, fellas, savor this, and I'm paraphrasing, savor this because we don't know if we'll be back. We don't know. It's not assumed that just because we lost in the NFC Championship game in 23 that we're going to win the Super Bowl in 24. We saw that tonight. So Detroit has a lot of questions to answer. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to a bunch of super chats now. There's appreciate everyone who is I appreciate every super chat more than you guys know. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go from the top here. From Ivan, now I see why Goff was traded. McVay was right. I really think that you could really, really back that take up tomorrow. If if the Rams go into Philly and win, and the Rams, I mean, they already have a Super Bowl and everything. But tonight was definitely not Goff's night. Tonight was definitely not Goff's night. Stanky says, I'm literally crying. Super chat from Liedrich. Is Jayden Daniels the best quarterback in the NFC? I'm not ready to go there quite yet. Although, I'll say this, if you are, I'm not going to push back. Although I'm more of I like to see a 2-year sample size before really tossing opinions out like that. But you go into the number 1 seed Detroit Lions, you win on the road, 45 points, most points in postseason team history as a rookie. You want to say it? I'm not going to push back. I am absolutely not going to push back. Sleepy says, how much did the Ben Johnson stocks go down? I would say not a lot. I would actually say really none at all, because he maybe a smidge, but not much. I mean, you have multiple seasons of work from Ben Johnson. He is a phenomenal coordinator, and the one that I would really push back on was the Jameson Williams trick play in that situation. That was the one that I would really, really push back on. A couple of the decisions, the one pick six was not a good throw from Jared Goff. The interception before half was a great play by the corner. The interception at the end, although Goff threw a third interception, he's trying to make a play down 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to sit here and criticize that too much. But let's go ahead and keep going here. Luke says, Jayden Daniels is a monster that nobody is going to stop right now. Also, I'm a 49ers fan. Love your content. Appreciate that, Luke. But Jayden Daniels could cement, I mean, I think it actually already is. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but this has just been an unreal season. And I am incredibly, incredibly happy for Commanders fans, because they absolutely deserve this. Blinky, as a fellow Vikings fan, it's nice to know Jared Goof lives on and the Kitties stay kitties. Skull to the bowl next year. It's JJ's year. Love the content. I hope you're right. I'm a big JJ fan. I really hope you're right on the JJ part. Really hope you're right here. Let's see here. Let's see. Why do we blitz in the red zone and give them 20 free yards every time? Let's go Birds. A lot of Birds comments in the chat, by the way. A lot of Birds comments in the chat here. A lot of Birds comments in the chat. Tony says, after this game and season, should Cliff be seriously considered for a head coaching job? He's done wonders with Daniels in this offense. I think he should absolutely be considered. But what I would say is, it's entirely, like, it's as simple as this is. It's up to Cliff, because there's a lot more stress and things on your plate than being the offensive coordinator and calling plays for Jayden Daniels. So I would imagine, like Ben Johnson probably just did, he's going to wait till the perfect opportunity arises. But Cliff Kingsbury, just like Jayden Daniels, stock is up. Stonks are up, guys. Stonks are up. Red Hood, who do you think would win, Birds or Washington? Appreciate the Super Red Hood. I would go Philly. We'll see, but Philly has to beat the Rams first. Josh, appreciate the 10-piece. As a Broncos fan who's been praising Bo Nix all year, I think it's safe to say that Daniels is the undisputed Rookie of the Year. I'm happy for the Commanders. Josh, I agree with you, and I'm glad that Broncos fans are civilly discussing this, because I know a lot of times within fan bases, Ravens and Bills right now with the MVP race, I know at times it can get a little hostile with award races, and especially if there's playoff meetings on the line, but it's cool, man, Josh, and I do appreciate the super chat. And Jayden Daniels, just an truly all-time rookie season from Jayden Daniels. JRG, appreciate the super chat. It seems Jared Goff is slowly getting into the Kirk Cousins curse. Sooner or later, he'll crash out. That's a lot of. There's people up liking it too. There's people upvoting it too. I mean, tonight is a tough one to defend because of the multiple picks and the bad plays and the thing is, they still put up 31 points, but I mean, it was an all-time performance by Washington. But what I would say is, I go back to not knowing how much that interception affected him after the play. But that one play immediately after, damn, your stream is blowing up. Appreciate it, Teddy. We're trying here. And we'll get back to the Chiefs here in a second, but I feel so euphoric about this win. You should. A long-suffering Washington fan no more. This season, this win tonight means the world to us. Hail to the commies. Commanders. I know some people get worked up if you don't say Commanders. Hail to the Commanders. But you guys should, man. I live in Maryland, for those who don't know. I've seen it firsthand for the past 20 years. I was in second grade the last time the Commanders won a playoff game. This night, soak it all in, man. Soak it all in, because you guys absolutely deserve it. I mean, you guys deserve everything that you have coming this year. I mean, this is been 20 years of it. Go Birds. There's a lot of Birds comments here. Somebody said, so happy the Lions lost to Roby. Appreciate the member. We have a member chat on Wednesday. Appreciate the member. All right, 5 turnovers. That's certainly not ideal. Best division in football, 1-0. Playoff games this postseason, you're right. It was a tough loss. It was tough because we were talking, NFC North fans were talking all year, myself included as a Vikings fan. You know, the Vikings, the Packers, the Lions, all 12-plus wins. Chicago, thanks for coming out. You did beat the Packers in Week 18, by the way. That's a joke, of course. But not the Packers part, just the thanks for coming out. But no, that's you're right, though. But NFC North, 0 playoff wins this year. 0 playoff wins. Aaron Glenn calling Engage 8 every play. Good reference, Speedy. Good reference there. Let's see here. I'm going to go to a couple of comments. Goff's fine. No need to overreact. That's where I am. That's where I am. That's when you think about it long term. Like I said, I go back to not knowing how much of that was put, how much of that affected him tonight after he got drilled on the pick 6. We'll see next year. Let's see. Let's keep it rolling. As an Eagles fan, if we win tomorrow, we may as well go ahead and book a flight to NOLA. I'm from Maryland, too. That's what's up, Joe. That's what's up. JG, I absolutely cannot believe we did it. I'm going to D.C. to celebrate right now. Hail to the Commanders. Be safe. Have a great time, of course. Be safe. Be smart. Everyone, be smart if you are going to go out. Uber, definitely be smart. But have a good time, man. You deserve it. I mean, it's been 20 years. 20 years. Who is your Super Bowl favorite for the NFC after tonight? It is, I'm going to say it in 2 words. Everybody get ready. You guys should know where this is going. If you are from southeastern Pennsylvania, you should know where this is going. Go Birds. That is my favorite right now. But I'm excited for Commanders fans. Look, and Commanders fans, if you're hearing me say that, just enjoy the win. We'll talk about the preview next week, even if you play Philly, whether you play the Rams. But that would be my pick right now. Appreciate the super chat, Realtor. Appreciate it. And a lot of people are saying the Birds. Goff sold. The NFC North of useless. Garf will be back next year. Biggest playoff upset of all time. Definitely not. No. Tonight was definitely not the biggest upset of all time. Definitely not. But it was a great game. It was high energy. It was Jahmyr Gibbs he reminds me so much of Chris Johnson and or Jamal Charles. He is such a good player, man. Jahmyr Gibbs is such a good player. He is awesome. Let's see. Am I upset about the TikTok ban? I'm not. Josiah, appreciate the super chat. I see why Lions fans wanted to play the Vikings now. I'm a Vikings fan. I get it, though. I would have wanted to play us after last week, too. 9 sacks against the Rams. I would have wanted to play us, too. Go Birds, raw. You got tomorrow, Daniel. You got tomorrow. Us Rams fans know Goff isn't capable of leading his team. Jacob, appreciate the first super on the live stream. As a Cardinals fan, I understand you can't blame a team's failure on 1 to 2 people, but Washington's success with Cliff makes Kyler look bad. There's a lot within that comment, because there's a lot within the Cardinals organization that would need to be addressed. The offensive line has performed for Washington unlike it did for Arizona a lot of those years. I think Kyler is just kind of etched in that, not lower tier, but there's obviously, the upper tier, that next tier. I would say Kyler's kind of just right now etched in that third tier that plays up, that has occasional games in the second tier and once or twice a year even in the first tier. But no, I understand where you're coming from. I do understand where you're coming from. Anyone but the Eagles, and there was an adjective added in there. From that dark friend. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Appreciate everyone being in here. Best NFL from Max. Appreciate it. Best NFL YouTuber on the platform, no doubt. Lions video when? Full transparency, I have a video coming out Monday. I was working on it in between the Chiefs and Lions game tonight. I honestly wouldn't tell you. I also have a video, ironically, good timing here. I have a video coming out on the quarterbacks over the past couple of years later this week. It would be a couple of days at least. Let's see here. What are your top 3 rookie seasons of all time? We're seeing one right now. I feel like this is quarterback, I'm assuming, by the way. Joe Flacco, I feel like would have to be up there. And maybe, oh man, that's tough because it would have to be like either RG3, Russ, or Luck, I feel like, for that one. All right, imagine telling someone the Commanders would be in the Final Four in Week 1 going to the conference championship. Man, that's, I I never would have believed it. Never in a million years. I was hoping for 6 or 7 wins for him this year. Never would have believed it. Bigger upsets, definitely Giants Patriots. That would be the biggest one. The Joe Namath one, that would also be up there. But that would definitely be those two would for sure be. Now I do want to discuss the. Now we can go back to the Chiefs game more in depth here. I just wanted to initially just discuss like all of the emotions and everything regarding the Lions game. So for the Chiefs game, my favorite hate watch, this is from a Minnesota fan, since San Francisco and Green Bay in 2021. That was Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer. He put up 10 points in a home playoff game. Not that I remember that off the top of my head as a Vikings fan, but I mean, hey, I get it. I get it. It was Jaden Daniels just like I said, just an all-time game tonight from the Commanders team. I'm never watching football again. I was going to be in Cole's ear if we won. Good call, Texans fan. What's up, man? I saw you last night. Me and Cole were chatting. Last night, Thursday night, whatever the case may be. It was a good time. Glad to see you in there. Glad to see you're here too. So I do want to discuss the Texans-Chiefs game more. The thing is, like I said, people wanted to bring up the refs. That was the main thing. But it was, and here's what I go back to with the Texans and Chiefs game is the Chiefs sacked C.J. Stroud 8 times. George Karlaftis had an all-time game today for him. I mean, he had 3 sacks. Not an all-time game, sorry, career game. That's the phrase that I wanted there. I wanted it to be a career game, not all-time. But it was a career game for Karlaftis. The Saints, not Saints, I don't know why I said Saints. The Chiefs, I mean, they got to C.J. Stroud 8 times. The one, I will say, this is completely unrelated to the sacks, but the one unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness on Henry To'oTo'o was... I'll just kind of give the eye reaction. I'll just leave it at that. But the final play that I think really just irritated me with the Texans today. And this Texans fans obviously know about Bobby Slowick and how frustrating he can be as a play caller at times. I mean, Bobby Slowick was regarded as a coach that could be as a guy that could be a head coach soon. And he's even taken interviews. I know there's a lot of Texans fans that want Bobby Slowick out. I would say be careful what you wish for. But there are legit Texans fans that want Bobby Slowick out. And what I would say was, what really just frustrated me was George Karlaftis already had 2 sacks entering the final drive, or the second to final drive, because they took a kneel down as their final drive. But game is on the line, season's on the line. George Karlaftis is a really, really good player. Now, he's not, top elite, but he's a Pro Bowl level player. I will comfortably say that. I like Karlaftis a lot. Very good. And your solution here, with the season on the line, is to chip him with Dalton Schultz and to have Dare Ogunbowale block him. And the cherry on top, thankfully he went out for the final snap and was okay, but the cherry on top was your quarterback limping off the field after the play. That is just, that is, the word I'm looking for here is, I can't think of the word. It's when you know something you shouldn't do in the business world. It's negligence. That's the word. It is just negligence to have Dalton Schultz, Dare Ogunbowale, season on the line, chipping George Karlaftis and hoping for the best. That I was really frustrated with the Texans because they had opportunities. Now, I don't agree with the, we got to play 2 teams and we go to Kansas City and all that. Because, look, here's the deal. I mean, Kyami Fairburn, 2 for 4, missed an extra point. That right there is 7 points left off the board. That right there turns it from a 23-12 game to a 23-19 game. Right there. Now everybody can do the, if we do that, if we do this, if Jared Goff doesn't throw a couple picks tonight, we win. I'm frustrated. You're telling Texans fans Bobby did this all season. Exactly. And good callback on the blocking Jonathan Grenard with the tight end, because that was absolutely, back in week 3, Cade Stover's welcome to the NFL moment. I mean, Grenard put him on his rump. It was like a toddler. It was boom, run him over. It was frustrating. CJ Stroud is terrible. He has lost his confidence. His O-line can't block. I definitely don't think he's terrible. That's not fair to CJ at all. But the confidence part, playing a great team today versus the Chargers, you could see a difference. And the Texans, what they should do this offseason, their needs is just getting beefier along the offensive line. That's it, man. That's it. I was just really, really, really frustrated with Bobby Slowick in today's game. That was just, to me, it was awful. Rich Wolf says Lions got to trade back for Stafford. I'm sure right now they... what's funny is, and I'll say this regarding the Lions fans that I've seen, so I'm sure this doesn't apply to every single Lions fan, but I know there were a lot of Lions fans recently talking about, we're good with Jared Goff, thanks for 0 playoff wins in a decade, Stafford, and all that. And that's not fair to Stafford at all. But that was probably the loud part of the loud. Every fan base has loud fans, I'll say that. Every fan base has loud fans. Appreciate the super chat, Max. And Max says, J-Mo throwing a 20-yard pass down 10 was the worst play call of the year. Lions fan, by the way. So respect for, discussing that, acknowledging that. That was the one play where, and I know I've had people text me about the Lions and takes that I've had where I just think that they were just such a complete offense. And I think they were. The 2024 Lions offense was one of the most complete offenses we've seen over the past couple of years. And obviously, you look at some of the plays they've had this year, whether it was the Jared Goff fake fumble in Chicago for a touchdown or the Penei Sewell pass attempt, that just anything, any of the trick plays, you worried. There were a lot of people. I myself, I'll be honest, I thought the Lions were going to the Super Bowl from the preseason, and I thought that heading into this game. They were almost double-digit favorites for a reason. I thought they were going to win 35-24. That was my prediction before the game. But there were a lot of people that would reach out and say, like, hey, like, not the same old Lions. They weren't saying that, but people would just text me and be like, dude, like, they're going to get too cute at some point. Dan Campbell's going to make a decision, although this game wasn't on Dan Campbell. I mean, you give up 45 points, you're not going to win many games. But there would be a lot of, they're going to get too cute with it. These trick plays aren't going to work in the postseason. The J-Mo play was bad. That was bad. There is unfortunately just no way to defend that specific play. That was a bad play call. I will say that. There's just no way to defend that one. All right, let's see here. I love seeing all the depressed Lions fans, says Trey. Do you think the Chiefs are hiding their playbook for next week? No. Season's on the line. No, I don't think that. Let's hear. Skull says Charlie is fresh. Bears fans just spawned to hate on JD5. That's hilarious. I also don't think that would be wrong. But Joseph, appreciate the super chat. The NFL should change the rules where head coaching candidates of playoff teams cannot interview until their team's season is over. Seems distracting. This is the thing is I would like to discuss like a video. The thing is I couldn't make a 15 or 20 minute video that would be entertaining. Worth it. I could make it like a 3 or 4 minute video, probably a 7-minute video. But my point is, all of this, suffice to say, is I had a friend that is a Ravens fan text me about Todd Monken basically saying the same exact thing. The problem with that is teams that are out of it right now, which is 20, I don't know how many teams are out because there's still 4 alive. It'll be 28 after tomorrow. So we'll say the 28 teams that are out, we're going to factor in right now 24 teams are out. They're on to the draft. They're on to free agency. They're on to simulating, hey, are the Chiefs going to keep Trey Smith? Are the Vikings going to keep Aaron Jones? Are the Bengals going to keep T. Higgins? They're doing all these simulations right now. Yeah, they're watching the games when they're live, and sure, they're talking amongst each other. Do you think this team's going to win? Sure, they're having those discussions. But the NFL is very much on to 2025 for, again, nearly 3/4 of the league. So teams can't sit here and wait for if the Lions were to win the Super Bowl. They can't wait till February 10th and say, hey, Ben Johnson, buddy, can you coach us next year by chance? I mean, they need to know. And I know people don't want to hear that, especially Lions fans, especially teams that have lost with coordinators getting interviewed throughout the week. And I know Ben Johnson specifically had 4 interviews because Schefter was tweeting about it during the wild card weekend. He had interviews with, it was like the Jags, the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Bears. It was like Friday AM, Friday PM, Saturday AM, Saturday PM of those 4 teams. But the NFL is, with the Senior Bowl coming up in the final week of January, with everything, they can't wait. And I get where you're coming from, though, Joseph. I really do. Sleepy, appreciate the super chat. At the beginning of the season, I was confused why the Chiefs didn't pay Snead, but I guess they made the right call. Karlaftis and McDuffie are dogs. They absolutely are both dogs. And the Chiefs are going to have some big decisions to make coming up, by the way, because that 2022 draft class of theirs is not borderline. It's insane. I'll say that. It's one of the best of the 2020 so far. I was going to say all-time, borderline all-time. Although maybe you can make that not all time. The Lions 2023 class, I I would still probably take over the Chiefs 2022 class. But it was guys like Karlaftis, McDuffie, Isaiah Pacheco, Leo Chanel. I think there's one or two more. I think Jalen Watson was in there as well, where the Lions 23 class was Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, and Sam Laporta. So I would probably say off the top of my head, those are the two best classes in the 20s, but the Chiefs are going to have decisions to make upcoming in terms of free agents, in terms of what are they going to do from that 2022 class, who are they going to retain, because if they choose not to retain guys, they're going to go get paid way more in free agency. All right. Andrew, appreciate the super chat. CJ isn't bad. He's clear top 10 quarterback to me. He's 7th. I'll share the top 10. Go ahead, share the top 10. Share the top 10. I was responding to somebody's comment. I definitely don't think he's bad. That's not fair to say. But what I would say is it is fair to acknowledge that he wasn't the same player throughout a lot of 2024 due to the interior offensive line play, and that was even with a rookie season in which the offensive line wasn't already good. I think that part is fair to say. All right, let's see here. Vikings fans, what was this comment here? Let's see here. It was something about, hold on, I wanted to go back specifically to this one. It was something about Lions fans were saying that Vikings fans switch up fast, and then about Darnold, and then now look at him with Goff. 3 interceptions in a postseason game is not ideal. Not ideal. All right, KL864, appreciate the super chat. I'm a Steelers fan, and watching this game right here hurt me more than seeing Pittsburgh lose 5 games straight. That's tough. That is tough. The thing is Pittsburgh's season, I feel like, is everybody sees it coming. So it's kind of like, all right, they get their 10 wins, the lights on them, the bright lights. What are they going to do? And we kind of know what's going to happen. But I'd be lying if I said I saw this coming. If you would have said 45-31, I would have said great. Ben Johnson, great game called. How many touchdowns did Jameer have? 2, 3? What did Mon-Ra go for? 80 and a touchdown. What did Laporta go for? 47 and a touchdown. What did J-Mo do? J-Mo's a problem, by the way. He is a problem. Let's see here. I guess we're gonna go back to the Commanders Lions game. Also, by the way, if you are enjoying, please subscribe. If you are not already, please drop a like. We're approaching 400. I do also want to say, if you are enjoying, we're going to be live tomorrow night immediately after the Ravens-Bills game. So be prepared for that, because that should be one heck of a game tomorrow. So like I said, if you are enjoying, please like, please subscribe. Appreciate everyone being in here. All right. Let's keep going here. Jaden Daniels and JB proves LSU makes great quarterbacks. We're going to talk about Matt Flynn back in the day, by chance. No, I get what you're saying though, and you should be happy. You should be, if you're an LSU fan, if you're an LSU fan, if you're down in the bayou, you should be thrilled. You should be thrilled, absolutely thrilled. As a Rams fan, Kerberos, appreciate the super chat. Let's see, I just could never trust all the hype about Jared Goff. Simply cannot perform in the big moments. Seen this too many times. It's hard for me to sit here and defend Goff right now after this game tonight. But I know I've said it multiple times already, but I do go back to how much was he affected by that hit from Frankie Louvu, although the pick six was bad even before the hit. I mean, he threw the ball before the pick six happened. Mike Sanderstill played one heck of a game, and I was a huge Mike Sanderstill fan before the draft, so I'm very happy for Mike Sanderstill right now, but I get it. If you feel that way, I 100% get it. Even with the refs, Chiefs aren't beating Ravens/Bills, says Speedy. I'm not going to get into the refs discussion too much. But it was definitely the Mahomes flop. I was not a fan of. I'll be honest. Nobody was a fan of that, but that was tough. Brandon Bean has been trying to pass that rule for years to the committee, and the problem is there's more teams out than in. Get outvoted. Nick, you are 100% correct. By the way, you are 100% correct. Appreciate the super chat. This is from Max again. Last donation, I promise, but you've been saying the Lions were winning it all since the start of the season, so who's your pick now? Hey, you're right. Like I said, I was wrong. Left hand up. I was wrong. They got beat by double digits tonight. It happens. I was wrong on this pick. I'll be wrong again. It happens. But my pick now to win it all, I have a... People are not going to like this one. I'll just be honest. I have a very complex method here, guys. In the postseason, in January, I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't. They find ways to win games. The teams. I just want to pull up the stat here from Ben Solak just to give you an idea of how this. I mean, this is just a peak Chiefs stat here. By the way, I do want to pull up this specific stat though from Ben Solak. He's an NFL analyst at ESPN. I tweeted during or immediately after the Chiefs game here, because this is, I'm going to get to this stat in a second here. It was the 49-0 stat, if anybody saw it here. If anybody saw the stat, I'm really trying to pull it up. Here it is. Per ESPN Stats and Info, the Texans are the first team to outgain their opponent by 100-plus yards, not turn the ball over, and lose a postseason game. Previous teams were 49-0. And by the way, they lost by 2 scores. So my pick is the Chiefs. All right, as a Rams fan, not a fan of Kirby Joseph. Also, NFC North frauds. Appreciate the super chat, Zeus. NFC North frauds this year, and Terry McLaurin definitely. I was surprised to see. I mean, he burnt Kirby down the sideline, man. It was a hell of a play by Terry. That has to be the best play of Terry McLaurin's career, off the top of my head. The other one that I would say was that one catch down the sideline like 3 years ago. If anybody remembers it, Commanders fans, I know you guys remember this, but it was the one catch where he was like, he caught it down the sideline like this. That would be the only other play where I think that would rival that specific play. Let's see here. What's AK saying? Talk about it. What does AK saying? Talk about it. I watched that game. Oh, the Lions lost. Okay. Let's see here. Bro, if the Eagles lose, you won't see me until next season, says Big Dan. Love from Australia. Up the fence. Appreciate it. If you are actually from another country watching, please comment, because that is probably the most humbling thing that I've seen, is just like, hey, comments from Austria. Like, that is wild to me. It's just hard to believe sometimes. I'll just say that. Tony, appreciate the super chat. I feel like tomorrow's game between Ravens or Bills, people are going to be talking about either quarterback like they are about Goff tonight. Is that justified? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Goff tonight, from the narrative perspective, it's justified. 3 interceptions, you lose by double digits, it's justified tonight. And again, I'm somewhat defending Goff as a Vikings fan. I'm sitting here somewhat defending Goff, but it's justified tonight. And I'll say this, Tony, regarding Lamar tomorrow, 3-4 lifetime postseason. He falls to 3-5 tomorrow. He throws no touchdowns, has an interception or two. They put up 10, 13 points after a year they've had. It's going to be justified. But we'll see. We'll be live tomorrow. Danny, appreciate the super chat. He says, Lions, what happened, LMAO? I'm assuming that's with the James Duraz voice, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Andrew, appreciate the super chat. My top 10, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Burrow. I have the same top 4 so far. Daniels, Herbert, CJ, Goff, Baker, and Love. Honorable mentions are Stafford, Purdy, and Hurts. Love the content. Appreciate it. That would be very similar to my top 10. Herbert, my guy, was 5 all year. He took a bit of a tumble in the wild card round, I'm not going to lie. And the thing is, as a Justin Herbert fan, you can't sit here and talk about Herbert being, right in that 5 or 6 conversation this offseason without it being brought up every single time of, well, how about the 4 interception playoff game? He throws 3 interceptions in the regular season, 4 in the postseason. I still think he's top 10. But Jaden Daniels, I will say top 10 entering 2025 without a doubt. But that is, I think Stafford, if he wins tomorrow, I think you'd have to put him in above Jordan Love. But that's just me. I also love Brock Purdy, by the way. Let's see here. Oh, Cole's in here. Commanders man, sheesh. Chiefs man, sheesh. Cole, I do have a question for you, by the way. How would you feel if you had to win a playoff game without the helps of the refs? How would you have to feel about that one? And by the way, everyone except Cole, you're not allowed to listen to this part, but I am kidding about that. But Cole, how would you feel if you actually had to win a playoff game fair and square? I do wonder about that. Let's see. I'm from the USA. That's what's up. Watching from Mexico. Love from Nigeria. That is crazy, man. Greece. Incredibly humbling, guys. I skipped Andrew's super chat. I see Anthony's. Hold on, Anthony. I skipped. Where's Andrew? I hate when I accidentally do this. Oh, no. I think I got to it, though. No, I got to it. When was the last time you took a dump? That is a hell of a super chat. Man. That is hilarious. That actually got me to broke like the professionalism for a second. Earlier today, morning. You gotta go to the gym and then come home and then do your business. Anyway, top 5 NFC quarterbacks right now. No order. Jaden Daniels. I would still probably say Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy. I feel like is how it would go right now. I think we're all caught up. We are all caught up, baby. We're all caught up. I'm in your walls, says Larry Lover. Appreciate the super chat, Larry. All right, well, I didn't see him, but anyway, appreciate it. Lions fans acted like the rest of the NFC didn't exist, says Shady Luke. Appreciate the super chat. There was a lot of chirping. A lot of chirping all year on Twitter from Lions fans. I'll just leave it at that. There was a lot of chirping. I will say that. Cole, did you actually answer the question? Okay, the refs is low-hanging fruit for those with no ball knowledgeable and very little IQ, says Cole. Cole, I would also ask, by the way, where did you stand on the roughing the passer from Henry To'oTo'o? I mean, where did you stand on that one? All right, let's see here. There's a couple more. Nigeria, Greece. I saw Turkey, Canada. That's awesome, guys. That is awesome. From South Australia, that is incredible. I do want to go to Australia. I'm not going to lie. Philippines, El Salvador. Oh, my gosh, guys. Love you guys. Singapore. It's wild. That is incredibly humbling. Anthony, appreciate the super chat. All right. CJ Stroud's rookie season last year was arguably the best ever, but look what happened this year. Point is, be cautious regarding Jaden Daniels. Anthony, you are 100% right. But I'm going to be honest. This summer, when it's time to do the previews and everything, I am going to talk myself into... Look, he was throwing to Diami Brown. He was throwing to 34-year-old Zach Ertz, 30-year-old Austin Eckler. Outside of Terry, who did he have? The offensive line also wasn't the best. I understand what you're saying. I will also be cautiously optimistic with Jaden Daniels. I mean, I'm not going to say 5,000 total yards, 47 touchdowns, or anything ridiculous. But I am very, very much looking forward to it. I'm from Spain. That's what's up, sir. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. That's awesome. I get what you're saying, though, 100%. All right, let's see what else we have here. RIP. What did I miss? He missed my dono. I got you, Andrew. I got you, Andrew. I got you. I appreciate it. All right, what else? Hold on here. Let's keep it rolling. Commanders, man. Let's see here. Texan fan here. In your gut, do you think the Texans will have a good season next year? It's going to depend on... I would probably say it's going to be similar to this year, honestly, just because their cap space isn't all that friendly next year, and they kind of went in a little bit this year, like went not all in, fully in, but they kind of went in, and there's a lot of not good money for the Texans, so they're going to be kind of limited as to what they can do. So I would expect kind of more of the same. I mean, here's the thing with the Texans. You're going to run into Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. It's Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar at some point. One of the four. Do you feel confident enough to go into any of those stadiums and win? Because I don't with the Texans. That's where I stand with the Texans. King Chum TV, appreciate the super chat. First super. Falcons could have been the Commanders if Michael Penix started the whole season. That's a spicy take. And look, I'm a big Penix believer, man. I am a big Penix believer. I will be high on Michael Penix all offseason. I thought the tape down the stretch was great. I'm going to be really high on Drake London this offseason as well. I don't think it's unreasonable for Drake to have 14 or 1,500 yards in 2025 and be a sleeper in the Offensive Player of the Year discussion. That team is going to be very, very fun next year. Although I am going to push back a little bit on the Commanders' part just because they had 12 wins. They're going to the NFC Championship game. I would push back a little bit on that, but that's I'm really high on Michael Penix. Roughing the passer was flaggable, a bit soft, but I've seen less called. I have the hiccups now. The flag when Mahomes slid probably didn't need to be called. Agree. Felt like they made up for Phantom Trey Smith hold 2 plays prior. Okay. Sleepy Gorilla, way too early. 2026 Super Bowl matchup predictions. There could be injuries. Gosh, the hiccups are a bad look right now. There could be a lot of injuries. There could be coaches. There will be coaches going elsewhere. I'm sorry for that. I would say right now, way too early. 2026. I'll go Bills Birds. I'll go Bills Birds. All right. Let's see here. Tony, what is your all-time favorite NFL game ever? It is the Minneapolis Miracle, without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right, let's see here. Kuros, appreciate the super. Do you think Stafford is a Hall of Fame? Yes, I think he is now. Love your content, by the way. Keep up the good work. I think he is now, especially with the Super Bowl win, all those years in Detroit. And if he is somehow a 2-time Super Bowl champ in a couple weeks, without a doubt, yes. Love for Madagascar, that is insane. That is actually really wild. Hurts is crazy disrespected. People act like he's not 4-1 in the regular season in his career. against Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Jackson. I do think Hurts is pretty disrespected. I really do. I like Jalen a lot. I'm really looking forward to a good game between the Rams and Eagles tomorrow. Hopefully an appetizer for the Ravens Bills. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Somebody said drink some water with the hiccups. I got you. All right, anyway, let's keep it going here. All right, let's see here. Steelers re-signed Justin Fields as QB1 and the AFC is in trouble. Christian, appreciate the super chat. I don't know about that. Don't know about that. The trouble part. I actually think that might have worked, by the way. So, I think they're gone. Yeah, let's go. All right, we're back. We're back. I was actually debating on ending the live stream, but the show goes on. I was actually thinking like Leo DiCaprio, the Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to say the other part, the next line expletive, but anyway, I don't think the AFC is going to be in trouble if Justin Fields re-signs with the Steelers, because there's a lot of work that the Steelers need to do. A lot of work the Steelers need to do. All right, let's see here. Love from Chiefs and HBTC fan. Appreciate that, Brenda. I will let Cole know you sent that. I do appreciate that. He'll appreciate that as well. I really do appreciate that. All right, let's see. Let's keep it going here. 10-piece from Mac. Appreciate it. Heartbreaking for my Lions, but I think next year we will be good. Defense will be healthy. That's obviously a tremendous part. Let's see here. Defense will be healthy. We can beef up our pass rush. We managed to secure a lot of our guys this year. The thing is Mac, is I, as a Vikings fan, I'm not just gonna say, man, the Lions lost tonight. See you never. They're gone. We don't have to worry about them again. No, they're gonna be back. It would be idiotic to say, man, the Lions are done. No, they'll be back. They'll 100% be back, especially with you give them a full 17 games to work. Whoever the new OC is, assuming Ben Johnson leaves, with Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Monty, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and the offensive line, they'll be back. And having a defensive player of the year caliber player probably changes some things tonight. I don't know if they still give up 38 offensive points because the Commanders had a pick 6, but it definitely would change some things for sure. But they'll be to say they are just 100% done would be ignorant. I see. I'm just getting to the comments about the chug part. I did polish that water off. I'm not gonna lie. Cole, I'm glad you enjoy the content. I am glad you enjoy the content for sure. Convince yourself the hiccups don't exist and they'll go away. Hey, look, they went away. And we are back. All right. Sipping like a hamster. That's actually hilarious. I can't lie. Throat movement on point. I guess you can see the Adam's apple, but anyway. All right, let's see here. You just got to think hiccups aren't real. Appreciate the super chats, Sarobi. Hey, they're not real. They're gone. I defeated them. We defeated them as a chat. When is the FBA hot calendar coming out? March 32nd. There we go. Austin, appreciate the super chat. What's next for the Lions, assuming Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn get head coaching jobs? They're still a great roster. So even if Ben leaves, I do think it's at times that Dan Campbell gets too little credit because I think there's this thought at times that, man, without Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell is just some. This is what I think the belief is. Not that I think this, but that Dan Campbell is just some dumb meathead that just lifts weights all the time, and he just basically says, hey, Panay, why don't you come in here and bench 225 with me, and then we can really just pound the rock down the Packers' throat or the Vikings' throat or whatever. They're gonna be fine. They're fine. They're not fine right now, not fine right this second, but in the long run they will be fine. All right, T Sunsiri, I'm not sure to pronounce that. Sunsiri, maybe the T silent. I don't know. I could be way off. I'm sad Dan Campbell literally got me into football this year. How do football fans do this year after year after year? Oh, man. Look, I'm just going to say this. My dad turned the big 60 recently, a couple months ago. I'm a Vikings fan. You guys know it. I just want one with him. Just one. That's all. I just want one. Just one with him. I don't care what happens after. We could lose 15 Super Bowls in a row. I just want the one. So it stinks. It stinks. We were on here live last week after the Vikings-Rams game. That was a disaster. But it was, somebody replied to him and said alcohol is how you deal with it. But no, you guys will be good. Long run will be good. All right. Let's see here. Love from Dubai. That's what's up. I saw somebody say love from North Korea, which was hilarious, by the way. All right, what? Ask me. I'm a Vikings fan, Daniel. That's a low blow. Although you're not wrong, and I'm not hurt at all. By the way, it is definitely true. Is number 2 pick the new number 1 pick? You know, it would be funny to ask Bears if the if the number 2 pick is the new number 1 pick because, you know, Myles Garrett and then Mitch Trubisky. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying. C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels back to back. I think what's funny, though, is every draft process. This one's a little different because Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are not on the level of Caleb, Jaden, Drake, Penix, and everybody from last year's class. But most quarterback classes, if there's 4 guys going in the first round, on draft night, especially if they go 1-2, you will see every fan base that has the second overall pick. Man, most of the time the first quarterback isn't even that good. It's because the situation usually stinks and they'll ruin them. But, you know, because we had the number 2 pick and the second worst record in the league, we're destined to turn it around before they do. It is usually pretty funny, like just the mental gymnastics. All right, let's see here. Missouri, that's what's up. The show me state, Missouri. I got a fun fact for you guys. I'm a low key geography nerd. There are 2 states in the entire country. You can actually use this fun fact. Tweet at me if you do. Let me know if you do. There's 2 states in the United States that have a bear on their state flag. One, of course, is California. Everybody knows that flag. I'm sure everybody has seen that flag. But the other is Missouri. So that's a little fun fact there. Love from Antarctica. Hell yeah. Chilly, I'm sure. All right. Dan Campbell is just some meathead. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Let's see here. HBTC. Is he still in here? Is he still in here? Commanders have their name for a reason. They command. I like that. Which part of Maryland am I from? Western. West MD. West MD, baby. I'll just leave it at that. West MD. 2019 Ravens was much worse than 2024 Lions. I would say, oh man, I'm going to tweet that. I'm going to tweet that question out and see where people stand on this one. Because I don't know. I'm curious where people stand on this. Oh man. I feel like tonight would be, tonight I feel like is more acceptable because you ran into a rookie phenom. The Ravens, Lamar didn't have a good game in 2019, but he had an MVP caliber season. I feel like tonight would be worse for the Lions. I would feel like tonight would be worse. Love from Cancun. I'm Jared Goff. That's hilarious. Let's hear. Ben Johnson's a Raider. He is in Hooters Airline tomorrow. Good. I love that super chat, Rich. That's awesome. Appreciate the super chat as always, Rich. Hope you're having a good night. But that is a funny one. All right. Let's hear. 6:15 a.m. from Sweden. That's awesome. That is awesome. PG County, stand up. I'm not in PG County, but I know where PG. I've been to PG County plenty of times. That's MD reppin', baby. MD reppin'. When is the hot calendar merch coming out? March 32nd. Cliff Kingsbury's head coach is entirely up to him. I'd be kind of surprised just because he's openly said that he loves just being able to call plays. I think it'll happen at some point. Not like right now, of course. Not at least not this offseason. Maybe next offseason. But I don't think right now. See you in 2 weeks. Famous last words. That is tough. That is a tough look for Dan Campbell. The see you in 2 weeks, because everybody last week was like 5 days ago Monday night. Oh man, Kevin O'Connell, 14-3, blown out in the postseason, and then literally 5 days later the Lions get beat by double digits at home. So it was tough for both Vikings and Lions fans to go through that. Moko, shout out Moko, baby. Definitely shout out Moko. Currently in Anne Arundel, okay. Little. Actually, I was thinking never mind. I was thinking a different county. Yeah. Annapolis, Mexico in the chat. You're down 10 in the playoffs in your own territory, and you let your immature wideout chuck a deep ball. Nick. That's the one where it's just like, If I were a Lions fan and if I'm mad about Ben Johnson about anything, that's the one. That is the play. Keep up the good content, man. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. Much love from Seattle. Appreciate it. I do want to get out to Seattle at some point. I really do. I haven't been. I technically was at the airport one time, although I don't really include that, but I do. Texans fan, you're right. You're right. Sorry, Texans fan. I let you down on that one. But I have not been to Seattle. I do want to get out there, though. Texans fan, bear with me. I got you tomorrow. I could have everybody wait 30 seconds. I don't want to do that. It'd actually be more like a minute, but I'll show you guys tomorrow, I promise. There will be a new backdrop. I get comments all the time about the pictures. People are like, "Oh, the pictures aren't right." And I know the J.J. Watt one's a little lower than the Winfield. I know that. I can see that. I know that. But it's there will be a new backdrop soon. More likes, come on. We just got over 500. So appreciate it. Are the Lions the most cursed franchise in all of sports? I mean, I'm a Vikings fan, so I feel like I don't know that the Lions haven't been to a Super Bowl. So maybe, but I don't know. But guys, I think that is actually going to wrap it up. We will be live tomorrow after the Ravens-Bills game. It is past midnight here on the East Coast. We have a lot of snow coming tomorrow, like 4 to 7 inches. So for the Mariners that were commenting in the chat, be safe, and everybody else that's being affected by that, be safe. We have a lot of snow coming tomorrow, so I'll catch you guys then. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let's see here, stream Bills Ravens. No, I will. I might stream the last couple like 10 minutes. We'll see. But we will be live after the Ravens-Bills game tomorrow for sure. I'm very, very much looking forward to that game. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Appreciate everyone being in here. Appreciate everyone who sent a super chat. Appreciate you guys being in here. Appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the channel that allows us to come together for a stream. And shout out everybody that said to chug water, because that baby was polished off. So that will wrap it up for tonight. And as always, until next time, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.